Here now is Tom Homan, former acting ICE director and Fox Business contributor. Tom, we heard the Democratic mayor of Del Rio saying that this is a humanitarian crisis. President Biden has said before that the reason he didn't follow the Trump advice on immigration, which had cut immigration tremendously, was because it was not humanitarian. Clearly, the situation here is very unhumanitarian, nothing humanitarian, and it's now a national security crisis, right?
Absolutely. And look, more people have died under the Biden administration trying to cross this border than under President Trump. More women are being raped. The cartels are making more money. Thousands of COVID cases have been released in the country. And the conditions of that area down there is the most inhumane I've seen in my entire career. So the Biden, where's AOC? Where's the rest of the progressives that ran down on the Trump administration crying about the conditions these people are in? This is a far worse conditions than ever was under President Trump. So look, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted that the President of the United States still hasn't been to the border. The Vice President went to El Paso, long ways away from the epicenter. And the Secretary of Homeland Security says the border is closed and secure. He needs to be removed. He has failed. He knows how to stop this crisis because he was there in 14, 15. I met with him numerous times. We stopped the crisis in 15. He knows how to stop it. He refuses to stop it because he fell into the progressive left, open borders agenda. It's disgusting.
Well, we have a national security crisis because we don't know now, since it's totally open and the border agents are not there to check these people in. There are thousands of them that are just waiting for somebody to check them in, but they're not being checked in. There could be some very bad folks sneaking in here. You also have Title 42 of the Public Health Law, 42, which is supposed to specify that nobody gets in with COVID. We have no way of knowing how many of these people have COVID. As Bill mentioned, a lot of them are from Haiti, which has virtually zero vaccination rates. So there's so many levels on which this has now become a national security crisis.
Look, we can agree it's a humanitarian crisis. The video shows it. We can agree it's an immigration crisis because the thousands coming across every day. But you're right. It's a public health crisis because we know right now the data shows 18 to 20% of these migrants have COVID when they come across the border and they're being released. We know that 90,000 people have overdosed on fentanyl in this country, and DEA says 95% of that fentanyl is coming across the southwest border because half the Border Patrol is no longer on the line. And finally, a national security crisis. Border Patrol's arrested 9 people on the terrorist watch list. 11 people on the terrorist screening database. 11 they've arrested. Terrorists don't want to be arrested. They're going to try to sneak around. 350,000 people have got away. That's based on camera traffic, drone traffic, and sensor traffic that Border Patrol couldn't respond to because they're busy with the family units. 350,000. How many of them were on the terrorist watch list? Thousands of terrorists have been released from Afghanistan in prisons whose sole purpose in life is to destroy this country. The southwest border right now is vulnerable to terrorists entering this country, and I want to know how many of that 350,000 have come here to do us harm. We don't know, but we're going to find out, David.
Tom, let's not forget the Border Patrol agents and the trouble that they are having, not only in dealing with this massive amount of migration that they just can't, there aren't enough agents to deal with it, but there are border agents dying of COVID. And I've seen the numbers. There is a huge spike in the number of Border Patrol agents getting COVID and dying of it. Now, I know there are other reasons why people can get COVID in this country, but you have to think that some of that is because of the work they're doing with the migrants.
Their commander-in-chief put them in harm's way. They're already in harm's way. But if they would have followed the Trump administration Title 42, keep these people south, all of them, not releasing most of the families, not releasing all the UACs, there would be a lot less COVID. And let me tell you, the men and women of the Border Patrol, they're walking around, they're like zombies, they're overworked, they've been abandoned by their president, they've been abandoned by the Secretary of Homeland Security. These are patriots. I love each and every one of them. But this administration have ignored them and put them at great risk.
Not just ignored them, Tom. They've insulted them. They've called. We should also remember, when you look at the number of agents that have died in active duty, you see a lot of Hispanic surnames as a result of them going after the charge that they are racist has been made by certain real extremists like the AOCs and others, which is just not true. Tom, I'm so sorry, but we've got to move on. There's a lot of breaking news today, but I thank you very much for being here with us.